in last session, we have learnt about how petroleum and natural gas is formed, that is formation of petroleum and natural gas. This petroleum and natural gas is formed by decomposition of sea plants and animals. That is, when sea plants and animals, they died and buried on the ocean floor. Over time, they were covered by layers of silt and sand. Then over millions of years, the remains of these animals were buried deeper and deeper. And due to enormous heat and pressure, this decomposed bodies turn into oil and gas. Oil is nothing but petroleum and gas is natural gas. And today we drill down through different layers of sand and rock to reach the oil and gas deposit. That is, by drilling, we drilling those rocks and to reach the rock formation which contains oil and gas deposits. So then we have learnt about petroleum. Petroleum is derived from two words. Petra means rock, oleum means oil, and it is, as it is mined from rocks under the earth. And petroleum is also known as crude oil. It is also known as crude oil, which is a fossil fuel. Why we can call that petroleum as fossil fuel? Because it is formed from the remains of marine organisms. And then we have learnt about various constituents of petroleum and their uses. From petroleum, we get different constituents, products like petroleum gas, petrol, kerosene, diesel, lubricating oil, paraffin wax, and bitumen. So petroleum gas in liquid form. So we call that as LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and it is used as a fuel for home and industry. Then petrol used as a fuel in motor vehicles, aviation fuel, and also it is used as a solvent for dry cleaning. Then kerosene, it is used as fuel for stoves, lamps, and for jet aircrafts. Then diesel, it is used as a fuel for heavy motor vehicles. What do you mean by heavy motor vehicles? Like truck, tractor, etc. Heavy motor vehicles and electric generators. Then lubricating oil, it is used as lubrication. Paraffin wax, which is one of the petroleum product used to manufacture ointments, candles, Vaseline, etc. And bitumen, as we already know, it is used for road surfacing and paints. For paints. So these are various constituents of petroleum and their uses. And then we have learnt about why is petroleum called as black gold. Why is petroleum called as black gold? Many useful substances are obtained from petroleum and natural gas. They together termed as petrochemicals. So what are petrochemicals? The useful substances obtained from petroleum and natural gas are termed as petrochemicals. And these petrochemicals, that is from petroleum, whatever this product we obtain, they are used in the manufacture of detergents, fibers, especially artificial synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, acrylic, etc. and the polythene and other man-made plastics. Then use of natural gas is used in production. Hydrogen gas, which is obtained from natural gas, is used in the production of fertilizers. Due to these different commercial importance, petroleum is also called as black gold. And then why this natural gas or CNG, how is useful for us? Natural gas, we know that it is very important fossil fuel. because it is easy to transport through pipes, and it is stored under high pressure as compressed natural gas. Shorter form is CNG. And what are the uses of CNG? CNG is used for power generation, used as fuel for transport of vehicles, and mainly nowadays this CNG is used as fuel in transport vehicles because it is less polluting. As it is create less pollution, we can call that as cleaner fuel. And what is the big use, great advantage of CNG is that it directly can be carried to homes and industries through pipes for burning. So all these are all the advantage of natural gas. And if you see that what are if in advantages, first question, why is CNG useful? Or how is it useful? CNG is used as fuel in power generation, used as a fuel in transport vehicles, that is as a cleaner fuel in transport vehicles because it creates less pollution than other petroleum product like petrol and diesel. And it is also used as fuel in homes and industries because it can be easily supplied through pipes. And because of these reasons, CNG is very useful for us. Then why is CNG considered as a cleaner fuel? Because CNG is considered, that is compressed natural gas, considered to be better fuel or cleaner fuel than coal and petroleum because it creates less pollution. Only this much is enough. It creates less pollution than other fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. Because of this reason, CNG is considered as cleaner fuel because it is those who can write, you can write natural gas, that is it emits 50% less carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide in the air, and because of this reason the CNG is considered as a cleaner fuel. Or you can tell why CNG is considered as a cleaner fuel, because it creates less pollution than other fossil fuel like petrol and diesel. Because of this reason, CNG is considered as a cleaner fuel. Then next question we have discussed about, can coal and petroleum, that is coal, petroleum and natural gas can be prepared in the laboratory from dead organisms? No, because they, in order to produce these fossil fuels, it takes lots of years because it is a very slow process, as well as and condition for the formation cannot be created in the laboratory because they need very high temperature and pressure, isn't it? So what is the answer? No, we cannot produce coal, petroleum and natural gas in the laboratory because it is a very slow process and condition for their formation cannot be created in the laboratory. Now let's continue the chapter. While only little part is left, we have reached end of this chapter. That is why some natural resources are limited. Now let's learn about what are the reasons some natural resources are limited. As we know that natural resources are exhaustible, like fossil fuels, forest, minerals, etc. What do you mean by exhaustible natural resources? Resources which are very limited, which can get completed by the use, our use, are called as exhaustible natural resources. So some natural resources are exhaustible, like fossil fuels, forest, minerals, etc. And if you see, coal and petroleum are fossil fuels. In order to produce these fossil fuels like coal and petroleum, it requires dead organism to convert, to decompose into these fuels. It takes millions of years. And as well as the reserves of these, that is, what do you mean by reserve? The stores of these fossil fuels are very limited and it will last only for few hundred years. Moreover, these fuels can also cause air pollution. That is, it is also nowadays connected to global warming. It is therefore necessary we have to use these fuels very limitedly. That is, whenever it is necessary for us, absolutely necessary, we have to use. And if you use in a limited quantity judiciously, this will result in better environment, and it leads to smaller risk of global warming, and also the availability of those fossil fuels will last for a longer period of time. Got children? So why the sum of natural resources like coal and petroleum are limited? Because in order to form these exhaustible natural resources like coal and petroleum, it takes millions of years to convert dead organism into these fuels. And the second reason is the reserves of these fossil fuels are very limited. They last only for a few hundred years. But in order to produce those fossil fuels, it takes millions of years. And moreover, these fossil fuels are they cause major air pollution, which leads to global warming. So we have to use these natural resources judiciously. And if we use these natural resources whenever it is necessary, absolutely necessary for us, then it leads to a better environment. Then it leads to smaller risk of global warming, as well as it leads to the availability of coal and petroleum for a longer period of time. And then in India, in order to conserve those exhaustible natural resources like petrol and diesel, this Petroleum Conservation Research Association, in shortly we call that as PCRA. What is PCRA? Petroleum Conservation Research Association. They have provided some tips to conserve or to save petrol and diesel while driving. So these are very useful tips for us. If we follow these tips, we can conserve petrol and diesel. So children, what is PCRA? Petroleum Conservation Research Association. They advise people how to save petrol or diesel while driving. Now let's study about these tips. What are those tips? First point, we drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. You should drive at a constant, moderate speed, not too in a speed or very less speed. That is constant, moderate speed as far as possible. Then second point is we have to switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where we have to wait. That is, if some traffic is there, if we have to wait, we have to immediately switch off the engine. So we have to switch off the engine at traffic light or at a place where we have to wait. Then third point is we have to ensure correct tire pressure. Often we have to check the tire pressure of the vehicle. So ensure correct tire pressure. And also last point, ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle. So if regular maintenance is maintained, then we can save petrol or diesel while driving. So what are the tips are provided by PCRA while driving? We have to drive at a constant and moderate speed as far as possible. We have to switch off the engine at traffic lights or at a place where we have to wait. We have to ensure correct tire pressure and ensure regular maintenance of the vehicle.